be able to make sure that next week that doesn't happen again. And you now get the actual privilege of being able to help develop that person and create a world where you guys are winning and winning long term together.
Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal!
Hey guys, my name is Chris Morrison. I am going to be releasing a 7-part series on how to create and build $1 million team and what it takes to actually do so. This is going to be really important for you guys on how to understand what it is that you're going to need to do to actually create the outcomes you want, the life you want, the $1 million team who are unbelievably committed to working with you and creating the life that you said that you all wanted to together. This is going to be video number 6. You're going to love it, enjoy it. We'll get into the leading and holding to a standard, right? Like, this is where they know what to do now, right? You've got a team that you've trained. They know their KPIs. They know what's required of them. And now they might be running into situations where they don't know how to do things. But two of the biggest things, every single week, you want to be reviewing their activity. You want to be reviewing what's required of them, and did they do it, did they not do it, and you want to be reviewing, is there a discrepancy in the thing that they said that they would do, back here, is there a discrepancy between what they said on the onboarding as to this is what I'm willing to commit to, and yes, I will do it? Is there a discrepancy between that and what they're doing right now? And if there is, do we need to have a pull-up chat with them? Do we need to hold them to a standard and say, hey, what's going on? Or do we need to say, hey, what's going on? And like, is it a discovery process where we're like, hey, you're just underskilled and that's okay if it is? Do we need to just develop in a certain area? Or are you dealing with some hard situations outside of this that we don't know what's actually happening, and you need to let us know there so we can actually help be a little more lenient, or anything that might come into that at the same time too. Or maybe just like, hey, this isn't what we expected. You've got one chance to make this up. What do you need from us to be able to help make it best? This is the warning, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What do you need from us to do it at the same time too? This is like the holding accountable side. But the frame I like to take from this, right, is like, you've got a human who has a set of goals that they want to achieve, right? Really good example of this is with our sales team. These guys all have goals that they want to achieve. And I'm very clear on them. We've got a guy who wants to buy a Corvette, a couple of houses, and by 35 be in a position where he's bought a property a year. So he's actually in a place of financial freedom and could literally not work if he wants to thereafter that. And we have another one who wants to move houses, move states, and do a bunch of stuff within his personal life at the same time too. And I get the privilege of being able to hold these guys accountable to the goals that I know that they have, right? So it's like, hey, you didn't do the thing. Didn't you say you wanted to do this? It's like, yeah, fuck, all right. And you get to bring that version of them out, if that makes sense. And you get to create a world where they actually are realigned back with what it is that you said that you would do, or what they said that they would do. And the caveat here is that you need to be playing your part too, right? Like, are you developing them? Are you leading them? Are you giving them everything they need to actually succeed? Are you asking things of them that are actually unachievable? And if so, do you need to actually change things around? Do they need more support? Do they need less support? Sometimes you overtrain at the same time as well. And it's just about ensuring that they have everything they need to succeed. And if they do, and they're still not performing, what do we do there? And if they are performing, what do we do there too, right? Like, how do we celebrate this, and how do we provide them more good, if that makes sense? Like, give them more opportunity, or how do we help them become more of themselves, if that makes sense? It's like holding accountable to the standard of the identity that they said that they wanted to have in the first place, which is usually the biggest thing to sell to anyway, which is like help people become the version that of themselves they want to become. This is with clients or for team, and it's really, 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 really powerful when you actually nail this properly. And when you can do it and nail it and actually hold to a standard of that, makes a huge difference. Now, where this is slightly different to leading is like, leadership is about developing and do everything like that at the same time too. But sometimes leadership is like hopping in and then doing it so they can see how you did it at the same time too, right? I still take sales calls, and the purpose of sales calls right now for me is not because I need to take them. I enjoy them, but the rationale behind it is like, if I take a sales call, it's with the intent of knowing that I'm doing everything I can in that call to manage our process so well, whether it closes or not, so that I can use that for training and say to the team, this is how you do it, right? This is how you do it. This is how you do it well. What can you learn from this, right? Or if there's another scenario of this, it's like, well, maybe you guys aren't performing. It's like, if I hop back in here, this happened just recently. If I hop back in here and I can outperform you guys in 3 hours a day when you guys have a whole day, you guys have some fucking questions to answer, if that makes sense, right? It's like sometimes it's a kick up the ass as a part of leadership at the same time too. But like a lot of people will question the whole do as I say, not as I do. So leadership sometimes is like doing and leading by example, so people can't question your authority in any way, shape, and form. Because if you come out in the field, you can still throw the fuck down, and you can make some great waves at the same time too. So as an example of this, I just recently was taking a sales call, and I let the team listen in live as I was actually on the call at the same time as well. And it was cool too, because it was like you got the cameras on you, metaphorically, if that makes sense. Of like, there's no way I'm not closing this guy, right? It's just like there's just no way I'm not closing this guy. So I made sure that I sold him on the identity of becoming who he really wants to be, because that's what we want to do, right? Like his identity was actually a 50K per month business owner that could live the life in freedom that he wanted with a small team on board. So like I sold him like shit crazy on that, because he was playing small in his own life, and he didn't want that anymore. I didn't want that for him anymore. And as a consequence of that, we came to an agreement that like this is the best thing for him. And so many people wouldn't have taken that leadership position for that prospect, but so many people would not have taken that leadership position by allowing their team to listen to that call live and showing how you actually were just throwing down, right? Like putting your money where your mouth is and actually showing people that you could still have what it takes, and then using that as training. Or if you fuck up and say, hey, this is where I fucked up. This is what I'm going to do to shift and change that. This is what I should have done differently. Learn from my mistakes. That's great leadership too, if that makes sense, right? The honesty, the accountability, the personal accountability teaches them to do the same. When you get that right, you have a team that will fight to the tooth and nail to be able to create that for you at the same time too. And funnily enough, interestingly, this is bringing me into to number 7. It's like the culture of winning, right? I have a core concept of like ruthless accountability. So I'm strict, I'm harsh, I hold to a high standard, and people win pretty bigly as a consequence of that at the same time as well. But you have to build a culture of winning being the standard, and losing being or there being no losses, right? Like you must hit KPIs. It's okay to not hit your goals, but it's not okay to not know why you didn't win. And you better not have actually done anything that creates a world where you didn't hit your actual controllable numbers, if that makes sense. And the biggest thing you can do here sometimes is like, that's why celebration is mentioned here. I mentioned celebration because people need to know what they're doing right so they can do more of the same. And something I think a lot of people fuck up with their culture is like, where people actually have great behavior, they should be celebrating great behavior more. So you want to make sure that even if people aren't hitting their targets, if they're still hitting their controllable input KPIs, right? So if it's a salesperson, outbound, or if it's a marketing manager, it's like leads produced, or offers put out, or whatever else it is in that context. You want to still be able to celebrate the behavior and say, hey, you still crushed what you did. It just didn't create the outcomes that we wanted, and now we get the privilege of reviewing that, working out what could you have done better to be able to make sure that next week that doesn't happen again. And you now get the actual privilege of being able to help develop that person and create a world where you guys are winning and winning long term together, if that makes sense. And this is where creating a culture of winning, of like, you must have a standard of like, if you don't hit your KPIs, controllable, the inputs, and you don't do it multiple times in a row, you're gone, right? I refuse to deal with people who are not winners. And you need to be ruthless about that. There needs to be ruthless personal accountability on both sides at the same time too. So you cover all possible negatives that would go wrong. Then you just celebrate all the stuff that is going right. And in a lot of cases, this isn't very clearly seen. You have to celebrate behavior sometimes, because your people, much like mine, much like myself, like if the chips are down, you need to sit there and be able to say like, okay, this was tough, but you still acted in good accordance. Your behavior was good. You didn't avoid anything. We just lost the game today. And that's totally okay. We can rebound and come back from this stronger if we learn where we could have been better in some way, shape, and form. But fucking good on you for the effort that you put into what you dealt with. And many people wouldn't have been able to do that. And that's what A players do. And I'm really fucking proud of you, if that makes sense, right? As a consequence of that, people are like, oh man, like this is I didn't win, but I'm I didn't win the game. I did what was necessary, and I'm still getting rewarded in some way, shape, and form. And it makes them want to do more. It makes them want to try harder. It makes them want to keep showing up on all the days where things do get tough and do get hard for them, and it is meaningful for them at the same time as well. And on meaningful, when their clients, so like, if it's an account manager, when their clients have got great results, it's like really celebrate that great result as a win, right? Because like that, they had a huge part to play in that, and they should know that the effort they're putting on a daily basis is actually meaningful towards something. But even more for your sales guys, right? Like they close someone, they need to know that the people that they've closed are winning, because that helps create an energy inside them where they go out into the prospecting world and say, hey, the guys that I closed are winning. And there's a direct connection between me speaking to prospect and prospect signing up and winning in the program or in the service or in the marketing agency, whatever it might be. And as a consequence of me speaking to you, I have evidence of people I've spoken to in the past who are winning right now. Pay me money. I will make sure you get the results, and I can fucking prove it. Here are the 88 reasons as to why that's the case, if that makes sense, right? This is where celebrating on those things and showing internally what's going on in delivery, and then externally what's happening behavior wise, all sort of stuff too, makes such a huge difference. People love it. It'll keep the glue together. It'll keep people working hard, and they will rise up to the occasion more often than not than you'll probably think, as a consequence of the core concept of good behavior being the standard creates great results, because you can train and upskill on anything outside that, for most things anyway, right? That's what it takes. That's what it takes to build $1 million team and keep the glue together. Last year we did 1.2, I think what was I said? Yeah, 1.2. This year we're shooting for 3. We have the team to do it. We're onboarding more people now. We have clients that we're working with that are in this exact frame right now too. I've got a great guy named Zach Boont, who we're working with, who has a similar team to this. It is everything except the closer right now. Currently 70 grand a month. They started with $12,000 per month. They started in predictable sales. We helped them build everything out here. They have inbound lead flow galore. They have everything to actually bring all this together. They now have a setter on board. We're currently getting them up to an average of 8 clients per month. That will get them to the 250 grand by the end of the year in 2024 this year. And sorry, 250 grand per month, that is. And I'm helping them build out a leadership structure and holding their team accountable inside team stuff and building $1 million leadership. So the higher level stuff that we work with on. And you can do the same, right? You just need to pick which path you want to take. If you're still wanting to get 50 grand, do predictable sales. If you're wanting to become a $1 million leader, come and chat with us about that at the same time as well. But you need to commit to being that leader. This is how you do it, and this is how you get to choose whatever path you want to take. Hope this is helpful. If you guys like it, comment below. Say it was fucking awesome. If you think I'm crazy, comment below. Say the same thing too. If you have some hate, comment below and say the same thing as well. Like, subscribe, all that shit. If you want to work with us and find out how we can help you solve the main problems in your business, reach out and do that at the same time too. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys on the other side.